Welcome back. I'm glad you're here tonight. I mean that. I want to ask you something before we get into anything. And it's not a trick question. When's the last time you actually felt settled? Not happy necessarily, not on top of everything, not like life was going perfectly, just settled. Like there was something solid underneath you that the noise outside couldn't quite reach. I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I feel like for a lot of people right now, that feeling is getting harder and harder to find. Not because we're weaker than we used to be, but because the world just keeps getting louder. And I've been craving this quiet myself tonight. My head felt a little crowded today. A little too full of things that weren't actually mine to carry. And I think that's part of why I look forward to this. Because this is one of the only places where I don't feel like I have to have it figured out. Where I can just think out loud for a while and not pretend to be further along than I am. So wherever you are right now, maybe you're finally horizontal in bed. Maybe you're staring at the road on a long drive home. Maybe you're sitting somewhere in the dark, just trying to find your center again. I'm glad we're here. No gurus tonight. No experts. Just two people trying to figure out how to keep their heads above water in a world that feels like it's constantly trying to pull them under. Tonight, I want to think out loud with you about peace. Not the big mountaintop kind. The daily quiet kind. The kind we have to protect. Because if we don't, the world will take it from us without even asking. So settle in. Let the day's chaos stay outside for a while. But before we get into any of that, let's just slow down for a second. Take a breath with me. Don't overthink it. Just feel the air for a second. Let your shoulders drop if they need to. Let the tension in your forehead smooth out. If you feel like you're still vibrating from the day, like your nervous system didn't get the memo that the work is done, that's okay. I feel it too. More nights than I like to admit, honestly. It's hard to just turn off when everything around us is specifically designed to stay on. Notifications, news, other people's urgency bleeding into your phone. It all just keeps going. Even after you told yourself you're done for the night. And I think what we're really looking for in moments like this isn't just silence. It's a way to find that quiet space inside us that belongs only to us. So just be here for a minute. You don't have to be on for me. You don't have to take on anything. Just let wherever you are right now be enough. Because underneath whatever you're carrying tonight, underneath the day you just had, underneath all the stuff that's still unresolved, there's something quiet in there. It might be buried pretty deep tonight, but it's there. It's always there. And that's what tonight is really about. Not finding peace somewhere out in the world, finding it back inside yourself, where it lives, where it's always lived. You know what I've been noticing lately? How easy it is to let the chaos out there become the weather inside here. It's like we leave all our windows open, and then we wonder why the house is full of dust and noise. We scroll through 1,000 opinions before we've even had coffee. We take on the stress of people we'll never meet. We absorb arguments we were never a part of. And I think for me at least, it comes from wanting to be aware. Like, if I know everything that's going wrong, I'm somehow safer. Like, being informed is a kind of armor. But after a while, you realize it's not armor. It's weight. And I've had days where I'm carrying the weight of 100 different things, none of which I can actually change. And the honest thing is, I don't always catch it when it's happening. Sometimes I only realize how much I've been carrying when I finally stop. When there's a quiet moment, and instead of feeling rested, I just feel heavy. Like the stillness reveals something the busyness was covering up. I sat in my car after work one night, just staring at the steering wheel, because I didn't have the energy to go inside and face more input. Just sitting there, engine off, not ready to be a person yet. You know what I mean? That strange kind of exhaustion where you haven't done much physically, but you've been quietly at war with the chaotic world all day. And what I noticed is, I used to judge myself for moments like that. Like I should be able to handle it better. Like other people weren't out there sitting in their cars, struggling to walk through their own front door. But I think a lot of people are. They're just not saying it. And I think what happens slowly, without us really deciding to let it happen, is that we become reachable to everyone and unreachable to ourselves. We lose that internal quiet. The quiet where we know what we actually think. The quiet where we know what we actually feel. The quiet where we know what we actually want. And we don't even notice it's gone until we reach for it one day and it just isn't there. I felt that. That strange disconnection where you're going through all the motions, showing up, functioning, doing all the right things, but somewhere underneath it all, you've lost the thread back to yourself. And the world keeps telling us that being available is a virtue, that staying informed is responsible, that caring about everything is what good people do. But I'm starting to think, if I don't have peace inside me, I don't have anything of real value to give anyone else. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't help put out someone else's fire when your own house is burning. Your peace isn't selfish. It might actually be the most important thing you protect. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this. I see it in the way people move lately. Everyone's just a little more on edge, a little more reactive, a little more tired than the situation seems to warrant. And I get it. I've been that person too. snapping at small things, because I've been quietly absorbing big things all day and had nowhere to put any of it. And the truth is, the world is always going to be chaotic. There will always be a crisis, always an emergency, always something demanding your attention right now. It's human to care. It's human to want to help. But I think a lot of the anxiety we carry isn't really ours. It's just static from everyone else's fear, absorbed quietly over time until it starts to feel like our own. And we feel guilty for switching off. Guilty for resting while the world is still loud. Guilty for choosing peace when other people are struggling. Guilty for taking a night just for yourself like it's a privilege you haven't quite earned yet. I know I felt that. That low-grade guilt that follows you, even into the moments that are supposed to be restful. Like you don't deserve to be at peace while the world is still such a mess. And I never really know what to do with that guilt, honestly. I've tried to reason my way out of it. Tried to tell myself it's irrational, and it is. But that doesn't make it go away. What I've landed on is something a little simpler. What if the most honest thing you can do is just acknowledge that your capacity is finite? Not as an excuse, as a fact. You are one person. You have one nervous system. And that system needs to be maintained the same way any important thing needs to be maintained. What if protecting your peace is actually an act of service to the people who actually need you? Your family, your friends, the version of you they get when you aren't stretched thin across 1,000 things that were never yours to carry. Most people worn down by the weight of the world are usually the ones who care the most. That's not a weakness. That's actually one of the better things about you. But caring about the world and being consumed by the world are two completely different things. And the line between them is one most people cross without ever noticing. So here's where I land on all of this. And I want to say it plainly. Your peace is not a luxury. It's not something you get to have after everything settles down. It's not a reward for getting enough done. It's not selfish. It's not irresponsible. It is the foundation that everything else in your life is built on. When you're at peace, you think more clearly. You show up better for people. You make decisions from a steadier place. You have more patience for the people who need your patience. You have more to give to the things that actually matter. Peace isn't the reward at the end of the work. It's what makes the work possible. And I think that's worth saying again, because I don't think most of us actually believe it yet. We hear it, we nod along, and then we go right back to treating our peace like something we have to earn before we're allowed to have it. So protecting your peace isn't retreating from the world. It's maintaining the one thing that makes you useful to it. And I think the shift that actually changes something is deciding that your inner life is not up for grabs. That the noise out there doesn't automatically get to come in here. That you get to close the window sometimes. Not forever. Not permanently. Just tonight. Because urgency and importance are rarely the same thing. Just because something is loud doesn't mean it's yours to carry right now. Just because the world is still spinning doesn't mean you have to spin with it tonight. And I think part of what makes this hard is that it requires you to trust something. And I think part of what makes this hard is that it requires you to trust something. To trust that the world will still be there tomorrow. That nothing is going to fall apart because you chose to be at peace for a few hours tonight. That coming back rested and grounded is actually more useful to everything you care about than you staying wired and depleted. That's something I have to keep reminding myself. More than I'd like to admit. Because my default is to stay engaged. Stay on top of it. Keep processing. Like, if I stop paying attention for even a few hours, somehow I'll fall behind on everything that matters. But what I'm learning, slowly, is that the thing I fall behind on when I don't rest is myself. And sometimes the most disciplined thing I can do is actually choose to stop. To come back to myself. Back to something steady. Back to something quiet. Back to something the world didn't give you and can't take away. And I think that's true for you too. So maybe tonight, the path forward is just deciding what stays outside. Trusting that the chaos will still be there tomorrow, but choosing not to live inside it tonight. Because you deserve to have a place where it can't find you. And if you haven't given yourself that in a while, maybe tonight is a good night to start. So as you head into the rest of your night, I hope you feel a little more contained. A little more yourself. A little more like the version of you that existed before the day got to you. Whatever is happening out there, it can wait until morning. Whatever people are worried about, it doesn't need you right now. You've shown up today. You've carried what needed to be carried. You've done what you could do with what you had. That's not nothing. That's actually everything. You're allowed to end the day in a different place than the world tried to leave you. You're allowed to have something inside you that stays quiet, even when everything outside is loud. You're allowed to just be a person tonight. Not a solution to anything. Not responsible for everything. Just a person who rests, who breathes, who lets the night be a little softer than the day was. That's not weakness. That's not checked out. That's just someone who understands that protecting your peace is how you stay in the game. So let the quiet be yours tonight. All of it. You've earned it. Rest easy. I'll see you after midnight.